There's a few things I want to talk about in today's video, and we'll get to those in a moment. However, today don't mind the mess, we'll talk about that in a second. Today I want to talk about the shark eggs and their absolutely phenomenal and incredible transformation that they've made in just 3 short weeks. Now you guys will remember originally when I showed you these guys, they were just tiny little squiggly lines inside their little egg pouches. What they've gone through in the past 3 weeks has been mind-blowing to me, and I can't wait to see what happens over the next 3 to 3.5 months that it's going to take for them to actually hatch from these. But what I want to do today is show you where they're at right now. This is pretty exciting. Now, it was really difficult for me to get really good shots of these because I do want them to be submerged under the water. Plus, I don't want to stress the other fish out in the tank. It's difficult to get a view of the eggs through the mesh and the net and the glass, etc. So I got to take them out and show them just through the glass. With that said, I'm battling a very curious and highly venomous lionfish. What I learned about these guys, though, is he does have a sense of security, and almost like my freshwater stingrays, he's not going to attack me if he doesn't feel threatened. So as long as I move slowly, cautiously, and I'm constantly aware of his location, I'm going to be fine. But I do not trust the snowflake eel at all. Not in the very least. He's far too curious. He thinks everything is food, and he will bite me. So for him, I got to make sure he's nice and filled up before I even take a peek at these eggs. Unfortunately, it's really difficult to see through the camera the progress that the eggs have made. With the human eye in person, though, I don't even need the flashlight. Just the lights from the aquarium are shining through it so brightly that I can see perfectly. You will notice the lionfish keeps coming up really close, and he's far closer than he might look on camera. At times, he was brushing up against my hand. Luckily, though, the only venomous areas are on his dorsal fin, so there's nothing really I need to worry about as long as I keep an eye on those. And it was almost as if, though, he was trying to hug me. He was coming up sideways and bringing up his pectoral fins and his all of these modified wings that he has, and almost like trying to engulf me, like he wants to hold on to me. I don't know if he's trying to be friendly and give me a nice little hug, but I don't think I'm going to like the end result if he gives me a little poke. So again, got to be cautious. But if we look at these eggs, isn't it absolutely insane the growth they've gone through in just 3 weeks? They now have mouths, they have these beady little eyes. They're moving around not as much as they used to, but that's normal. However, they have a full body shape. They're at least 4 times the size they were in just those 3 weeks. So imagine in 3 months from now. Now, I don't plan on doing updates on these guys every week or every other day or anything like that. I'll probably post some stuff to Instagram like I have been, but I needed to show you guys how absolutely incredible this has been. Now, I do know that a lot of people think that these eggs are going to hatch in this aquarium. They're not. I think I covered that in a past video anyway. But I also mentioned that I'm going to be building them a brand new aquarium out here in the new fish room area. Like I previously mentioned, though, I have to build the stands as well as the saltwater aquarium, but I'm really behind on doing so. You see, my trailer that I go and pick up all my lumber and all supplies, the tags on it expired. I didn't realize that till I hooked it up to the SUV, and I couldn't drive it, so I had to wait a couple days, get those renewed, and it put me behind by a few days, but I have everything now. I'm going to start putting it together today and tomorrow. Just the stands I'm going to work on, but the saltwater tank I'm talking about is going to go right here. I plan to make it 4 feet this way, 3 feet that way, so 4 feet long, 3 feet front to back, and then 2 feet tall, making it around 180 gallons. I'm probably going to use this sump system here, which holds about 40 gallons. This used to be on the tank that they're on now, but I recently built them a new sump. More on this in the future. So in total with this sump as well as the tank, it'd probably be about a 220 gallon system. That's if I use these. I might use something bigger. I might plumb something through the wall because I also have to build an entire filtration room. Everything in there is getting revamped. Of course, the 375 is going to come here. I'm going to build matching 42-inch tall tanks, so they're going to be almost eye level. And it'll be more uniform in here as well, which will look a lot better once everything's in here. The saltwater system, however, is going to probably be for the sharks to hatch in. Otherwise, I will put the snowflake eel as well as the lionfish in here to start and maybe hatch the eggs in their original aquarium here, so they don't have to go through any transition or acclimation period or anything like that. By far, these guys are going to be the most sensitive. Luckily though, these are coral cat sharks, and in the aquarium they rarely get to about 24 inches. They have the potential to get to 28 inches, which is almost 3.5 feet, but they'll probably stay at between 24 or 20 to 24 inches, which if I build this 180-gallon tank, it would be perfect for them for life. In fact, I could keep the 2 sharks as well as the snowflake eel and the lionfish all together. Would be a pretty incredible predator tank in my opinion. We'll of course keep the scape pretty minimal, with just focusing on maybe a center island of some sort that's quite small, just so the snowflake eel has somewhere to go in and hide. Ultimately though, I've been spending more and more time with this aquarium just to get to know the fish a lot better, get to know their personalities and their boundaries, and I must say that the lionfish is far more curious and interested in everything that I do, and very surprisingly gentle. Again, I don't trust this guy back here though, not in the least. He's snaking through the area. He's actually quite active. A lot of people say they hide a lot, and they're a nocturnal feeder, but this guy's out all day doing this sort of thing, zigzagging through all the rocks and hiding in all the crevices and whatnot. But you know, I gotta say, I do not regret these shark eggs. I think it's going to be an absolutely incredible journey watching them hatch, and you know, bringing you guys along for the ride. Now I know that many of you guys will never be able to keep sharks or keep lionfish or eels or anything of this aspect, and I really don't expect you to. When it comes to the coral cat sharks, I'm not trying to promote for you to keep them. Originally, as I said in the first video, I just want to bring you along for that experience. Like for example, when we were breeding discus, you know, I bred them, and you know, we got about 1,000 babies out of them. And I brought you guys along for that journey as well, and taught you and showed you everything I knew. I know a lot of you will never be able to breed discus or will never have the interest, but it's pretty inspirational, educational, and it is simply a curious thing to follow along. I don't think the sharks will be any different. In fact, I think they're actually a little bit more cool. I don't really want to disclose all the plans that I'm doing out here, but like I did say, the 375 is going along that wall. Frank and the Beischer here will be going underneath of it. I know that that sounds kind of weird right now, but once I build off the stand and it's all together, I'm going to enclose Frank's aquarium so it looks like it's built into the sand. It's going to look pretty cool. Then of course the saltwater tank will be the same height. Now with Frank's tank underneath of it, that means that giant sump that's underneath here right now, you guys will remember that that's that absolutely stunning Bashi tank. It needs a good cleaning, and I gotta turn the lights on so you can see it, but beautiful tank. Beautiful sump, I should say. Obviously it can't fit underneath the 375 because Frank will be under there, so I'm going to plumb this tank directly through the wall, so this room will be just as quiet as that room. I'm gonna put the sump on the floor here. Now again, absolutely disgusting mess out here, but if you could imagine, everything that you see here is going to be gone. We're going to start over. We're going to put the sump here. It's a 5-foot long sump, so we'll come to about here, leaving us with about 4 feet, or if I set 3 feet that way, no problem. This canister that pumps on the 2000 can go up against the wall there, so that the entire bottom will be the sump for the 375 in Frank's tank. This will still be underneath of it, and then I'm going to build a shelf that is 7 feet long and build an entirely new filtration system for the 2,000-gallon aquarium. Be something like this, but 3 times the size. So that will mean that this closet here will be filtering about 3,000 gallons of water through it, and it will make maintenance on all the tanks and water changes and whatnot tremendously easier. Because at the end of the day, one of the things I really wasn't counting on because of my excitement for just being able to have such a thing and to share it with you guys is at the end of the day, when the camera goes off, I have to take care of all these tanks. And it takes a tremendous amount of work and time. It's a 7 days a week type job. So moving forward, I'm definitely making adjustments to make it a lot of things more automated and easier to take care of. Anyways, guys, that's the update on the Shark Tank. I hope you guys are as excited about it as I am. I got to get so much done, and I have to get so much caught up on so much in that fish room that I think this Sunday, though, I will bring you up to date with what's going on out there and show you how I'm building a few things. Ultimately, though, if you're excited about those shark eggs, you're not subscribed to this channel yet, make sure that you do so you don't miss their hatching. I guess I can quickly explain the mess. Everything's being cleared out of here to make moving the tanks a lot easier, the carpets, everything, so there's nothing to trip on. If I need to slide it or anything like that, I'm just kind of preparing in advance. I also, last night, I put all the tanks that eat prepared food, that dry prepared food, I put them all on automated feeders, so they're all being fed twice a day, so that takes a little bit of workload off of me so that I can focus on the new fish room and get more done out there. Even though feeding them isn't a big deal, I'll admit I sometimes forget.